Hi there, it's Miss Novakowski coming to you from the studio at Grower Elementary in the Richmond School District. We're going to look at the patterns and math in tartans. And tartan is also known as a plaid. Tartans are a family textile or pattern that are assigned to families in Scotland. And my mum and her family came from Scotland. So I have lots of tartans in my life. And we're going to look at this scarf today and look at the pattern in the tartan. And then think about how we can take that pattern and translate it onto paper. So using a paper, a ruler, a pencil, and then something to color with, crayons or markers, pencil crayons, paints, whatever you have. So let's start by having a look at this scarf. It's got quite a few different colors woven together, but we'll just look at the main colors. We have white, we have red, and we have a dark blue. And so when we look at this pattern, we can see that it goes this way, horizontally, but it also goes vertically. And that's what forms these squares and rectangles, which is a classic sign of a tartan. You can also see this is a scarf and that the pattern is centered along that middle band. So these rectangles on either side are equal. So that's something to be mindful of as well. So if we read this pattern, we could start off with white being A, and then the red would be B, because it's a different color, but then we're back to white. So that would be A again. So A, B, A, and then this large blue section would be C, a new color. A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C, and on and on. And then again, if this is A, then before it would be C. But we can also read the pattern vertically. So A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C. Okay. You can see in some spots where the white is quite brighter. And can you think about why that is? That's where the horizontal and the vertical match up. So you have a double layer of the white thread, so it looks a bit brighter. So we're going to now take this ABAC pattern horizontally and vertically and translate that onto paper. So the first step to creating our tartan pattern is we're going to fold our just regular rectangular piece of paper in half longwise. And these fold lines we're just going to use as reference for drawing our other lines, and then fold it in half the other way. So now we have a horizontal fold line and a vertical fold line, and those will help us keep our tartan organized. So we can see we have the vertical fold line, the horizontal fold line, and try and visualize that this is where that big square of the tartan pattern is going to be centered around the center point here. So I'm going to use a ruler, and I'm just going to move it right up to that horizontal fold line, and again we're just using that as a reference, and then I'm going to draw a line across. And then I'm just going to move up my ruler a little bit, and you could measure these and be really exact, but I'm not worrying about that so much. I'm just going to make sure I have 4 lines drawn, which creates 3 spaces. Hey, so I've got 3 spaces there. I drew 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and then I have a large band here. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing going the other way. So again, line up my ruler along the fold line, move it down so it's on this side of the fold line now, and then draw my line across, and then move it down. And if these aren't exactly even, that's okay. You can estimate, or if you want to be exact, you could measure them. I would say maybe just less than 1 centimeter each. Or if you want to make one narrow and then the 2 outer ones a little bit wider, you could do that. So I've got 1, 2, 3. So yep, I'm good there. And these are a bit on an angle, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, we have our horizontal stripes here, and now we're going to do the same thing but do it vertically. So I'm going to use my vertical fold line here as my reference. I'm going to line my ruler up right against it, and then just draw a line on this side, move it a little bit, Move it a little bit. And again, you could use a bigger piece of paper, or you could use a smaller, thinner ruler, and then you get a slightly different design. Okay, so then I've got my 3 bands there, and then again I line up at the center, use my fold line as a referent. Draw a line, move it a little bit, draw another one. Oops. And then one more. Okay. And there we see, can you see the tartan pattern starting to emerge? We've got our square in the middle, and then these would be other squares that would be continuing off the page here, our horizontal lines and our vertical lines. I'm going to label this pattern right on here so that it helps me when I'm coloring in the pattern. So we'll start with this first. Remember that was a white stripe on the scarf that I showed you, so that's A, and then different color, and then this is the same, so that's A again, A, B, A, and then this large one is C. And then it repeats down here, A, B, A, C. So the one before this A would be a C. And then it also goes across this way. So A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C. So if you like, you could research a traditional Scottish tartan and learn what those colors are for that particular family. But for this one, I'm just going to choose my own 3 colors. I can call this the Janice tartan. That's my first name. And then I'm going to think about where I'm going to color them in here. So I'm going to start with this sort of greenish blue color. That's going to be my A color. So all my stripes that are A in the pattern, and again, I'm just going to do a quick sketch here. And again, you can use markers or crayons or paints. So every A stripe, I'm going to just color across here. So I do that horizontally, and then I also do it vertically. And you can see this is where it starts, they start to overlap and intersect, so that the parts that have both horizontal and vertical are a little bit darker, right? Because they have the 2 layers. If it was weaving, it would be thread or wool. Okay, so there's the first part of my tartan. And maybe you can see this starting to come together now. And then I'm going to use this bright pink. It's also called a fuchsia, and that'll be my B stripes. And then the vertical version. And again, this is just quick coloring to give you the idea. And again, you can make your pattern more complex or more simple, but this is a pretty classic tartan pattern. And then for my C, I'm going to use a dark blue, also called a navy blue. Now, I'm not going to overlap this because this is quite a dark color, so I'm actually just going to color in the C sections here. But if you chose a lighter color, you could definitely go over all your other colors as well, because that's what would happen actually in the actual weaving process. But you can try and visualize now how this pattern would extend in either direction. And if this was a scarf, we've got it centered so that this large square is right in the middle here. Oh, I'm just not doing a very neat job there. Just to give you the idea. So there's one example of a tartan pattern. If you're interested in learning more about tartans, here's a little zine called The Math in Tartans, and it tells you a little bit more about the geometry of tartans and the pattern. And I'll share the link where you can find that.